Hello everybody, welcome back to the Mocklin Music Channel, your favorite new artist, I hope. Once again, practicing talking to the camera. So today's video is going to be a bit more serious and informational as I'm going to cover my roughly 7 to 8 months of experience with music promotion, as well as a bit of a newbie's perspective on the current state of the music industry. And before we begin, I want to preface that all of what I'm going to talk about is going to be strictly about online music promotion. So let's get to it. So as of today, basically I've had some experience with the major platforms like Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, what have you. And you might be thinking, why do I want to bother with all these platforms? Like, it's easily going to be time consuming to create content for each different platform. And on top of that, you have to consider how you're going to schedule different releases and contents relative to each other, right? Well, as a new artist, that's also what I thought. Like, maybe if I just make good music, like, good things will follow. But that's just not the case, because the thing that you have to realize is that a lot of these platforms are also essentially search engines. And what that means is they follow an algorithm. And how they learn to suggest your stuff to potential new audiences, they are going to have to look at prior data. And as a new artist, you simply just aren't going to have any data to work off of. So pretty much you're going to have to go into this game, unfortunately, just like me. And what I would like to suggest is probably to prioritize only like 3 to 5 major platforms, because you can imagine that the time investment for each different platform can add up real fast, real quick. Like, for example, I do not prioritize SoundCloud as much. Like, I do have one, but all I do is just throw music up there and then I just log off. Because basically SoundCloud, historically speaking, favors EDM in the rap genre, while in my case, my music tends to sound more pop and alt-rock-ish. So yeah, that's just an example of what I'm talking about. Alright, so if you're already established on some of these platforms, then good for you, you got your foot in the door. But unlike in my case, I actually did not really have a social media presence for like the past few years prior to making music. And let me tell you, when you're just working with free avenues of promotion, such as posting on Reddit and Instagram and like Discords in my case, it's basically an uphill battle, because there's like this feeling that music promotion is, or like promotion in general, is kind of frowned upon. Because just like, think to yourself, when's the last time that you saw an ad and it's like, man, that's really annoying, let's skip this ad, or like, dang, just like get this ad out of here, you know? And as someone who also is both a consumer who's now promoting, like, that comes into my mind. Like, I'm conscious that, and I also realize a lot of these places for promotion generally have rules to say no self-promotion, you know? Go onto a lot of subreddits and you'll see that rule right over there. So how all you're left with are like a select few areas for music promotion. What happens is that these are basically just going to be filled with other independent music artists, and thus musical artists, like, we want to make music, right? We don't want to spend as much time on promoting. So essentially you're going to have a bunch of people throwing songs in the same small area, and not all of them are just basically too busy to really care to check out some of the other people's music, you know, and where the actual listeners are not really there. Now, why is this the case? Well, this is due to oversaturation. So ever since the internet age, information and music in general has been more accessible than ever before. And especially with also the improvements with DAWs, digital audio workstations, which are software where people like me and you can actually just make music, has given a rise to the age of what's called bedroom producers, aka just like independent artists like me. And what happens with this is that basically almost anybody can just like make music as long as they know what they're doing, kind of. And then this leads to the famous statistic of like where Spotify cited that as much as 60,000 songs get uploaded to Spotify every single day. So you can imagine there's no way anyone can actually listen to 60,000 songs, right? Especially like, it's just too much. And this is also the same thing goes for information in general. And what this does is that it makes like regular people like you and me, we'll be too busy or too overwhelmed to actually check out everything. Instead, we'll just be like, why don't we just crack open the major radio station, just give me the top 50, you know? Give me the best performing songs. And so as a result, you miss out on all of these potentially like great music from independent artists. Like, you know, the top songs they're playing everywhere. Like, if you hear it everywhere, it must be good, you know? Right? So what oversaturation causes is that there's this uneven power dynamic between labels and curators and artists themselves. So ultimately, these curators and labels get to decide what music gets to be heard. And the reason for this is like they themselves are also oversaturated with artists pitching them songs. So it's more important than ever to actually be lucky enough to maybe know someone or have some sort of connection to get like your foot in the door to actually like be able to like pitch to notable curators and labels. So what's the alternative, you might ask? As always, money talks, the classic. Of course, a lot of curators and labels can be incentivized if you pay them some money up front, and some of these may be legitimate. But how are you going to be able to tell? This opens the floodgates for a crap ton of con artists straight up. Like, you pay a curator and guess what? Maybe their streams that they get you are just complete bots. Or if you actually want to, say, get an actual music promotional service and say look it up on Fiverr or something and pay someone, now what? You go and check your streams later on and they're all random like bot streams from India or something like that. So what the music space has basically become has devolved into a sea of con artists trying to take advantage of desperate music artists. It's nearly impossible to actually find a music promotional service that is authentic. Now back to my own experience, there's a pretty established service called SubmitHub. And in case if you don't know what it is basically this website or platform that allows artists to connect with curators, and what they do to facilitate this is offer credits. There's two different kinds of credits, the standard credits and then the premium credit. And standard credits are free, but they give you a limited amount and it refreshes at a very slow rate. And premium credits are, you guessed it, paid credits, and you can pay as much as you want. And just browsing the sites, on average, most curators actually ask for roughly the equivalent of $2 per pop of pitching the songs. So why not just use free credits? Like, I think my song is good enough, right? Well, the issue with that is curators quite literally, like on this website, standard credit submissions are not going to be prioritized. You might not even get a response most of the time. And pretty much there's no monetary incentivization, you know? Like, these curators also have to like fund and upkeep the quality of their own playlists, right? So pretty much either use premium credits or you're not using SubmitHub at all. And when you're using the premium credits, like personally, I've used roughly $10 worth of credits, and I've had a pretty good acceptance rate. Meanwhile, for my standard credits, I've never gotten accepted. And among like the $10, I've had like maybe 3 or 4 songs accepted, and they amounted to like a few streams, but nothing too spectacular. Like, their audience are pretty much there for them, you know? And sometimes you might get lucky, you might actually convert a fan, but at the end of the day, like, these types of services are not going to be game changers for you. Now, doesn't that just sound completely screwed? Pretty much artists have to spend time researching every single curator, and not only that, they have to pay for it. Wouldn't it be much more efficient if the curators were to seek out the artists themselves? They get to choose which songs they want to promote on their platforms. And what happens? The artists themselves get more time to actually make music, and the curators are actually passionate about the songs that they're promoting. Boom! 2 birds with 1 stone. Well, there might be something like this out there, but I've never heard of it. If anyone knows, please let me know. Because all we got right now that's something similar to this is SubmitHub that I've seen. This leads to the main point that I wanted to cover, that music promotion is very pay to win. It's not really a secret that all the major artists have hefty budgets backing them up in order to actually promote them. Like, say, you know, your Justin Biebers, your Billie Eilishes, your Olivia Rodrigo's. And just think, in your experience, you're just like driving to work. Boom! You hear Stay by Justin Bieber. You're at the groceries. Boom! You hit Bad Guy. You hear Bad Guy by Billie Eilish. You're on YouTube. Boom! Your YouTube ad just gives you driver's license. You know? How's that happen? A crap ton of money. Like, the relationship between major labels and curators at places like Spotify is essentially like a monopoly at this point. So it's part of why I'm saying when I actually spent a bit more of a budget on my music promotion, I've done a Facebook ad campaign for about $100. I've also done a Spotify promotional service that's roughly $300 with a place called Vertex Consulting Group. And what are the results? Both of them actually turned out a lot better for my stream count and follower counts than places like SubmitHub or posting on Reddit has ever done for me. At the end of the day, I'm still relatively a random new artist that most people are going to forget about the next day. I'm not someone who has the budget to actually push my music to the point of ubiquity. And, like, I must say, like, these services, even though they did like pretty good for me, like relatively speaking, music promotion for me was pay to lose. Keck W. So yeah, like all in all, the internet has been a great thing for music, expanding the accessibility of music everywhere. However, it also has problems with diluting the types of music that you're going to hear on major platforms. I mean, of course, there's going to be exceptions. For example, the stuff that goes viral on TikTok. But you can't really count on that. That's like hoping that you're trying to win the lottery. I mean, most music artists, like their careers span over the course of years, and perhaps the best thing for independent artists, like to get their music heard, is at the end of the day just to do more live shows, which you're probably wondering why I have not talked about up to this point. Yeah, because I mean, as far as live shows go, I basically started my musical career during the age of the pandemic, which, as you can guess, that there aren't really live shows going on. And now that they're slowly coming back, I might have to like try to consider thinking about how I would want to perform live, but that's going to be a bit difficult and complicated. So I'm going to need to have time to flesh that out. As y'all know, I am not a singer by trade, really. I'm still working on that, as I've only done live performances while playing drums. So yeah, like, I can only imagine I can't have like a stage like, for example, Justin Bieber or Billie Eilish where we have like a band backing us up. Like, I'm just gonna have to maybe go up on stage holding a boombox, singing like a glorified karaoke or something. I don't know, something to consider, but I need to work that out. If there's anything to take away from this video, it's to definitely check out independent artists' music when you have the chance, as things are really stacked against us. And, I mean, if you don't agree or you don't really care, if you've gotten this far in this video, then at least I hope that you enjoy listening to me talk. Well, that just about wraps up what I wanted to cover today in this video. And as always, if you liked the video or have something to say, like and subscribe, comment down below, and of course, check out my music in the description. And always let me know if there's other videos regarding music making or drums that you guys would like to see. So yeah, till next time, Macklin signing off. Yeah. Okay, let's try it again. Again. Oh, I think I just hit the microphone. Oh, how's that?